leaf blow the front yard. It's like this serendipitous thing. It's every single time. It's so funny. Lynn says, how are you feeling? I'm feeling better. I mean, you guys can hear it in my voice. Like, I still have a cold, but it's not as bad as it was. Coley is here. I'm just happy to be out of bed and being a human, and I am very grateful that it didn't get really into my chest. It just kind of stayed as this, like, kind of horrible face cold thing. I tell you what, though, I had some seriously insane fever dreams. It was nuts. I did that live on Thursday night, and it was weird because right before I got off the live, I don't know if anybody remembers me saying this, but I was like, oh, I need to go to bed. I was like, my head's just feeling all swimmy, and I thought it was just like the ADHD from the day, you know, catching up with me. And I got into bed and I was like, I feel kind of funky. And I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I had just like completely soaked our bed, just crazy temperature. And I know it wasn't the Rona, because whenever I've had that a couple times, I always like lose my sense of taste. This was just one of those standard everyday like cold situations. So, Felix, I was sick at Christmas. Yeah, at Christmas time, my son brought the plague with him. That was, I think, the worst cold I've ever had. Was that one. But that turned into strep throat. So I know, I was like feeling better. I got to have all from January like 15th until like what? So like 2 months of not having a cold. Oh, anyway, so yeah, so I'm definitely feeling a little bit better. Hey nurse, what's good? I had the flu and it was the worst ever. Oh, Felix, I'm so sorry. We did a little 24-hour, like, achy flu bug thing, maybe, like, a month or two ago. But the flu, it's terrible. I hate that. Nicole, what's going on? So I'm here. I just wanted to pop on. We're going to do kind of a short and sweet. As you guys can hear, I'm still definitely healing from that situation. So I'm a little raspy, so you got to bear with my voice today. But I'm here. And that's all that matters, right? We're making an effort to be a human again. Guys, I am so grateful for Nifty. I'm going to tell you right now that I am so grateful for Nifty because I had stuff in my drafts when we got sick. So I was able to get that stuff out of drafts and get that up and cross-listed. And I think that's why our sales stayed consistent even while I was sick. Like, we sold like, I don't know, like 25 or 30 things while I was sick, which was crazy because normally when you're sick from work, you're not making any money. And we had some serious bangers. We sold that magazine for like $350. I sold a couple pairs of shoes, like $100 banger shoes. So it was really, really great. Annie says, I love that shirt. This shirt makes me so happy. I saw it in the closet this morning. And after wearing just like pajamas for days, I was like, I am so excited to like take a shower and put on like real person clothing. So Sweet Briar's here. Lil Pickles! I am, you guys. I definitely am still like, I'm on the mend. I mean, you can hear it in my voice. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that everything's perfect and hunky-dory. But I'm up and I'm moving around, and I managed to get some sleep last night without, any cold medicine or anything. So that, as silly as that sounds, that's like huge because I've been taking cold medicine since Friday, like all day, every day. I mean, you guys, I slept all day Friday, all day Saturday and Sunday. I ate like twice. And then on Monday, I was up for a few hours. That was it. Like, I got, like, that, whatever that cold was nasty. And it's so crazy, too, because my son got the same cold, but he's up in Washington. And then I heard, like, some other people just got back from vacation. Was it Meg? I think it might have been Meg. A couple other people got, like, sick. I know Kiwi and his family had gotten hit with it. Like, I mean, it goes around. And it's, like, I think a lot of times it's, like, between the post office and grocery stores and the amount of people I see at garage sales every Saturday. Like, if someone's getting sick and they don't know it, or if they're sick and they're hosting a garage sale and then I'm exchanging money, I have Purell in the car I use every time we get in, but you know, I mean, I have an autoimmune situation, so if there's a cold or virus around, I'm just gonna get it. It is just what it is. So, Darren, what's good? But I'm so happy to be on here, you guys. Literally, it's been like, I mean, the first couple days I don't really remember, but like the last couple days it's just been like kind of lonely. And I mean, I have Justin here, which is amazing, but like I miss hanging out with you guys. I did pop on Southerns yesterday, at least to just kind of like get in on like what's going on, everybody. Like I feel like I've missed everything. I feel like I've been gone for like a million years. It's so strange how that happens. It's like when you're a kid and you get like chicken pox or something and you're away from school for like 2 weeks or something and you feel like you've missed like everything that's ever happened in the world. B David, what's good? All right, let's see. Is Hire Ship gonna let me log in here? Oh my god, I've been gone so long. It's like logged me out of everything. Had Justin doing our shipping, which was, thank God he was able to do that, because I was not feeling good enough for that. So, Yarg, log me in. Log me in. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's go. Are you a robot or a pirate? I am definitely a pirate. Okay. All right, you guys, let's do this. So, obviously, you missed a lot of sales while I was gone. I sold a lot of jeans, a lot of shoes. I've been selling a lot of shoes recently. Sold that crazy magazine, which was great. I got that magazine too. Here's the crazy part. Okay, I don't know if any Hunter, what's good? I don't know if any of you guys were on that live with me on Thursday night. So I did like a late night live. I was working on Thursday and we talked about this crazy story. So I had gone to a garage sale a couple years ago and I bought this box of magazines and it had like a lot of sports magazines, but it also had some comics and stuff in it. At the very bottom of this box, there was this letter and the name sounded really familiar to me. The name was like Gary Mathias. And it sounded really familiar to me and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I realized, I was like, wait, isn't that like a true crime case? So because I had just seen this Netflix show. So I popped on the internet and I looked it up and it was. So there's this crazy old case from like, I think this was like the 70s or maybe it was even earlier, like maybe the 60s, where these 4 or 5 kids drove this car out to the middle of nowhere and then they all got out of the car for some reason. They found like a couple of the kids had passed away. Then they found another one in a cabin. And then like 2 of the kids or something that they never found these kids. And it was this crazy mystery story that I had read. And so I was telling everybody on the stream that the letter I had was from the same area where this had taken place. So anyways, long story short, I went down this crazy rabbit hole and found this case, found all the names of the people in the case, joined a Facebook group about this case, and then I posted up in this Facebook group, hey, I found this letter, because here's the deal. This kid had been missing, right? And so it was like, if I can connect this missing family to an old piece of their family's history or something, wouldn't that be amazing? And so I posted in there. I wind up getting a hold of this woman who was the sister of the guy that went missing. And she tells me through going through the archives and going through like her information and everything, figures out that this letter that I had was from the uncle of this kid. They had the same last name. The uncle and the nephew had the same last name because it was like a family name. Gerald or whatever it was. So it was his family name. So the guy I met at the garage sale, she thinks was her uncle, which would fit for the age. This guy was like in his 80s at this garage sale. This woman was like in her 60s. And so it would fit for the timeline. It would fit for all of that. And so I asked the lady, I'm like, well, this is crazy. I have your uncle's. She's like, oh yeah, I haven't talked to that side of my family in years. And I was like, well, do you want this piece of paper? It was like a congratulatory letter from like school or something. She's like, oh no, I don't want it. I was like, are you sure? I was like, what do I do? She's like, I don't want it. Just toss it. So anyways, I'm telling this story on this chat, right? We're talking about it on the live on Thursday. And so, you know how they always say, if you've got something in your inventory that you want sold, all you have to do is touch it or talk about it. And so I told that story, and you cannot make this up. The next day, I sold the most expensive magazine in this whole group of magazines. Most of them were worth like $5, $10. There was like a couple $40 ones. This was a $352 magazine. It was this Cage Stars Anaheim basketball team that only existed for one season. And so I sold that magazine. And there's that little part of me that's like, was that like the Gary Mathias family like smiling down on me, being like, thanks for the efforts of trying to connect us to this letter. We're going to help you to sell this $350 magazine because you're about to be sick for 4 days and not be able to list or get out of bed. So anyways, craziest story. Thanks, Sunny. Hey, Potato Books. Craziest story ever. It was so weird. It was such a weird coincidence. It was cool. It was awesome. And I think it's because I talked about it on that live. So B. David says, miss your positive outlook. Oh my goodness. Oh, Hunter, I am live. I'm more importantly, I'm alive. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, let's get this shipped. So this is not going to be a long one. We're just going to do a little bit of shipping. We just shipped on Tuesday. Is today Thursday? Oh my God, I don't even know what day it is. Is today Thursday? Yes. Okay, it's Thursday. So we just shipped on Tuesday night. So, or Justin shipped, I think, on Tuesday night. So we are going to get this stuff shipped here. So the first thing we've got here is a pair of 2022. These are Levi's 559s. Now, Levi's 559s by themselves are just not going to be huge banger sales. It's a newer kind of pair of Levi's. It's a less expensive pair of Levi's. It's not vintage. It's not like crazy good structure. It's not going to be flared. These are like the epitome of like normcore, dadcore jeans. So what I like to do is when I find these, because I can usually get these for like a buck at a garage sale, is I like to partner them up. So if I can find two pairs that are like essentially the exact same size, I will do that. So these are a really weird size too. They're 40s by 29s, which is like kind of a crazy size. Normally by themselves, they'd be difficult to sell only because by the time the person pays for the jeans and pays for the shipping, it's so expensive that they're like, what is the point, right? So if you can partner them up together though, they usually sell pretty well. So this is a little set. So these sold for $21 plus shipping. So I'm able to make, you know, a little bit of money, and it's something that most people would just pass up at a garage sale because of the fact that they're not going to be like huge banger sales. I gotta get some bags just a second, you guys. This is what happens when you were not the last person in your shipping room trying to find things. Things get moved. All right, perfect. I am insanely grateful that I had Justin here to help me ship though, because I don't know what I would have done. Okay, so there is that. So we're going to put these on. Kit Kat, what is good, you guys? Nurse says yes. Oh, Nicole, your posters came. Yay! Oh my gosh, those were so, that was the craziest thing to like figure out how to ship everywhere, those posters. But you guys know me, I like a good challenge. So, all right, so this person is going to get, oh my God, that's so cute. It's a little piggy with, oh, I better not put that on. We're not going to put that on the big and talls. We're going to get a little sun orange here. We're going to put this in, and then we're going to put a little thank you card, and we're going to call it good. All right. I did have another sale today, which I had to accidentally, I had to cancel on purpose. So I had this really pretty patchwork quilt that I got from a church sale recently, or I'm sorry, a senior center sale. And it sold over on Poshmark, and it wasn't supposed to list on Poshmark. So I think what had happened was when I had put my stuff in drafts on Nifty, I had forgot to deselect having it list on Poshmark. It's my bad. I just literally forgot to do it. And so it was accidentally listed on Poshmark, and it's like a 7-pound comforter. So on Poshmark, you can ship anything that you want up to 5 pounds. It'll always go priority mail, unless it's an electronic, and then it goes ground. But it's all included in the price that someone pays on Poshmark. Well, this is like a 7-pound comforter. So each pound that you go over on Poshmark, they charge you an additional fee. I think it's $6 or $7 for the first, or I think it's $4 for the $4 or $5 for the first pound. And then after that, it keeps going up. So for me to ship this comforter, it would have cost me close to $10. I think it was like $8 something to ship this. And I was like, that's just eating too far into my profit. So I went ahead and canceled it, you know, and there's that really, it's hard because there's that fine line between letting someone know that you're not going to have this relisted on Poshmark, but it could be somewhere else because technically, wink, wink, you're not supposed to do that. So what I said to the gal was, hey, you know, my apologies. I'm so sorry. I explained the situation. And I said, so I won't be relisting this on Poshmark, wink emoji, because unfortunately, they're going to charge too much for shipping. Unlike other platforms where they don't do that, wink face. So maybe she finds me on another platform. Maybe she's able to repurchase that. Maybe she's annoyed that she had to do that and doesn't do that. But I wasn't going to have it eat that far into my profits just to get it shipped. It's just not, it's not worth it to me, in my opinion, to do that. I don't have to cancel orders very often. Now, if this had been eBay, I probably would have just eaten it, to be honest, because eBay is so crazy about you canceling orders. But with it being on Poshmark, I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I don't know what you guys, I don't know if you guys would have done the same thing. You're so welcome. Kit Kat, I'm doing okay. Hey, thanks for joining the team. Crazy Mella. I'm doing better. I'm on the mend. I mean, I can't lie to you guys. Like, I'm not going to come on here and be like, yeah, I'm 100%, because I am not. I did, however, get a cup of coffee today. I haven't made it too far into it because I haven't had coffee now in, well, almost a week. And so I was like, I don't want to get like heart racing or anything. But I ate a real dinner last night. I've been living on, so I always, I eat really weird foods when I get sick. Okay, who else does this? Please tell me I'm not the only one. So when I am sick, I always crave like usually cold foods. And it's like the weirdest things. Sometimes it's applesauce. Sometimes it's chicken and a biscuit crackers. This time, especially since I'm not doing refined carbs anymore, this time it was Fage yogurt with cut up bananas with some peanuts sprinkled on top and a tiny bit of honey. But the honey, I have like rules with honey. It can't touch my spoon on the top. I can't touch the jar of honey, and I don't want to touch the outsides of the container, or it makes me feel like I get like really like weird anxiety. It's so stupid. The things you admit on live, Charity, is insane. Anyway, she's got OCD. We all know that. So when I had a little bit of honey, I had that, a little bit of cottage cheese, and oranges. That's all I wanted. That's all I ate for literally almost a week, which is insane. Justin would kept bringing me, make me like, that's so sweet, he'd make me like a little bit of chicken and a little veggies, and I'd just look at it, and I was like, that looks really warm, and he's like, yeah, I just cooked it, and I was like, can I have some? He's like, yep, some Fage yogurt, 8 slices of bananas, little peanuts, and some honey on top. Jean was so sweet. Jean sent me a message. It was like, that's it. I'm having tortilla soup delivered to your house. And she's like, wait, that's right. You can't eat a bunch of things. And I was like, oh no. I was like, I can't eat stuff that's in that. I was like, but I can't eat it if it's warm. I can only eat cold foods right now. What is wrong with me? Does anybody else eat weird stuff when they're sick? Oh my God. I am so happy to see you, Crazy Mella. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I definitely feel like I look a little rough around the gills. So I do appreciate that. I'm telling you guys, it is, okay, I need to make a video on this. I started using that hyaluronic acid stuff. I saw it enough times on my TikTok that finally I was like, okay, that's it. I have to try this stuff. And so I had gotten, remember when we were doing those purple ticket things, and like if you shared someone's purple ticket and then you clicked it and they did your ticket, you're supposed to get $1 for everyone you did. And so I thought they were going to give you like real money. Of course not. They gave you credits. So I ended up with like, I don't know, $24 in credits or something like that. And so I went in and I got myself one of those little hyaluronic acid kit things, the small one, for free. And I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I have my esthetician's license. I used to do skincare and I used to do facials and stuff for a portion of my life. And so I've always known about hyaluronic acid, and it's stuff that we had it in our products back in the day at the salon. You used to only be able to buy it if you had your esthetician's license or if you were a doctor or something like that. Anyways, So, and I've used it over the years and it's definitely great, but there's something about this one that is like totally different. And so my skin, if you look at this, you guys, I am about to turn 48 years old. That is a true story. I, I feel, and this is even with being sick right now, I feel like my skin looks like it did when I was like in my 30s, which is crazy. We made $3 in the shipping on those. Anyway, so I know that that's random and totally off the topic of shipping, but I noticed it, and Justin actually is the one that noticed it. So I walked out in the kitchen and he was like, wow, he's like, you're looking really good. And I was like, well, thank you. I was like, oh. And he's like, no, your skin looks really good. And I was like, oh, thanks. Were you saying it looked bad? And of course, as a guy, he's like, no, I wasn't saying that. And I was like, I mean, we've been together so long, so you've seen me through my 30s and into 40s. So Kit says, no, you're not. I would have thought mid 30s. Ooh. Well, then. I appreciate it. Yeah, my son's going to be 30 in October. Oh, good gravy. I lost my shirt on those pants. Someone bundled several pair of jeans on Posh. I accepted, not thinking about the extra shipping. I lost my shirt on those pants. Yeah, Darren. And so the first time I ever realized that was going to happen to me, someone had bundled, it was like this Mandalorian Star Wars kit puzzle thing with like a whole bunch of clothes. And I was so excited to get the sale that I accepted the offer because it was like $80 worth of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And then when I went to box it up, it was 10 pounds, 4 ounces. And Poshmark wouldn't even let me get a label for that because they cap at 10. Sweet Briar, thank you for the heart puffs. They cap at 10. And so, it wouldn't let me get a label. It kept giving me all this like secret like hackers code on the screen. And I was like, what is going on? Hey, Marie, I see you over on YT. And so then I went in and read all the bylaws and stuff. And that's how I found out about the extra money. So you guys can cancel those orders. If you're on Poshmark and you're going to like totally eat it when you get a bundle, just cancel it. It's just not worth it, right? I mean, in my mind anyways. JP, good to see you. Sorry, you guys. I didn't promise it was going to be perfect. I just said I was going to be here. Okay, next thing we've got here is a pair of Y2K Old Navy jeans. These sell crazy good for me. What is the SKU number on these? 1528. So anytime you guys can find these Old Navy pants with these old like tags. If you look here, this one says Old Navy baggy. A lot of times you'll see like Old Navy carpenter or painter is another one that they have. These sell crazy good for me. And they just look like a standard pair of jeans. What's different is the cut. So the thigh on all of these Y2K jeans are so big that it lends to that baggy look that's really popular right now. And these aren't even like a super great size either. These are a 33, 32. So it's a smaller size. If you guys hear barking, I apologize. We have bug people coming to spray today and the HVAC guy coming today, just for service maintenance stuff. So I apologize if you hear barking. Anyway, yeah, so I picked these up for $1 and they sold for $24.30 over on the Bay. Slumberkin, that's your size? Then you should be able to find pants pretty easily. That is a not a super popular size. So I've not sold many jeans that are in the 33 waist. It's just not a very common waist size that I see. All right, so these are going to Ken in California. And with all of my stuff that's over £1, I always ship it out of Pirate Ship. It just saves me money. For instance, we shipped those 2 pairs of jeans. That first bundle was 2 pairs of Levi's. The buyer paid $10.99. I only paid $7.29 because Pirate Ship always seems to select like Ground Cubic Advantage or the UPS SurePost for me, and I always save money doing that. So we're gonna take this little thing, we're gonna copy, and we're gonna go over to Pirate Ship. Yarg. Slumber American says it is not the easiest to find. It's your size too, Darren. That's so crazy because that is, you guys, that is not a common size. That's got to be a really hard waist size to find, because if you're at 33, the 32 is going to be too tight, especially because the 32s usually tend to cut in a little bit. By the time you get to 34s, they start to square off, so you're in that kind of in between size. I'm guessing you usually wind up either buying 32s and hang drying, or you buy 34s and pop them in the dryer, would be my guess, because 33s are definitely a little bit more difficult to find. Okay, so we are going to see what we've got. California for me is usually a more expensive place to ship to for some reason. It's interesting. I'm in Texas. I can ship to Oregon sometimes and have it be less expensive than shipping to California. So it's like you just never really know what the rule is going to be. These are 1 pound 10 ounce. So we're going to see. So they're going to have paid $8.99 for shipping. We are going to pay probably close to that. $8.48. So we still made a little bit of money on our shipping, but like I said, like for instance, those 2 pairs of Levi's were less expensive for me to ship than this one, and it's California for some reason. What's up with California? What's going on with all y'all in California? Why you gotta be so pricey? I think I've missed your lives the last couple of days. Lulu, you know what? I haven't been on actually. I was going to try to come on yesterday, and I got in my room to sit down and do my listings. I got my listings done, and then I was like, I have to go lay back down. I've just been on the mend since a cold, which you can probably hear. We always joke when I get a cold like this. Sounds like I've been like out back smoking stoves for like, you know, outside for weeks or something. And I'm not a smoker, but that's always what it sounds like to us whenever I get a cold. Sel says, I'm sorry. Hey, you're the one that's got to pay the fees in California for stuff. It's so expensive in California. We were talking to Moms Buying More one day, and she was telling us how much some of the stuff is there, and it's so crazy. I mean, I used to live in Seattle, and it's really pricey there too, but I think California is worse for sure. Vintage, I'm happy to see you. Okay. Sorry guys. I know I sound so congested and gross. Okay. So we're going to put our little tracking number in here and see what our next item is. Perfect. Okay. Next thing we've got here is another pair of pants. Surprise, surprise. If you've never joined me before, I sell a lot of pants. I sell a lot of polos. I sell a lot of men's dress clothes. I sell a lot of vintage t-shirts or band t-shirts or weird shirts because that's what I like. A lot of shoes and a lot of pants. So that's kind of my jam and jelly. So this is a pair of 2013 Dickies. These are 874's original fits. These give you like a square cut, what I would refer to as like an indie skater metalcore look. So it's going to be that very 2000s, like straight down. You've got like the little pocket chain situation going on. You got a pair of either steel toe boots, or you've got Converse on, and then you're either wearing a super baggy Cannibal Corpse t-shirt, or you're wearing a super slim fit like Foster the People or something like that is generally what I see. Sometimes on these you'll also get buyers that are kind of more like the skater grunge look as well. Shasha says, remind TT to come over here. Yeah, anybody that's on here, if you're on TT and you got a YT, feel free to open me up over there. I can see your chat, and I'm trying to get hours in over there, so this is gonna be the biggest celebration of my life in 2029 when I finally have enough hours over there to get monetized. Hey, we're dreaming big over here. We're dreaming big over here, folks. All right, we're going to get our shipping label here. And these are going to be over a pound, so we're going to go ahead and go over to Pirate Ship. So these are going to Shane in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, interestingly enough, is somewhere I sell a lot of stuff to. It's one of my top selling states, which is really interesting. It's very, I don't know why. It's Pennsylvania. Y'all like your thrifted clothes. I love that. So this is going to Shane in Pennsylvania, and the nice thing about Pirate Ship too is that you're able to you only have to put the length and the width in if you select Polybag over there. So it just, I think because of that, it tends to categorize it as Ground Cubic Advantage or the SurePost even a little bit easier. So we're going to do airplane for our good friend Shane here, and a thank you card. We're going to pop these in and get them on their way. I found that I basically don't make anything on shipping using SurePost. Darren, where are you at? What state are you in? Just out of curiosity. You know, it's really interesting to me how it really depends on where you're at in the country. So when we were up, I'm so sorry, you guys. Moment. Holy smokes. Okay. When we were living up by Seattle, whenever I wanted to ship stuff, I would generally ship stuff in flat rate legal envelopes. So I know some of you probably have already seen me do this trick, but if you take a flat rate envelope or a flat rate legal envelope and you fold it right in the middle of where the UPC is, you can actually flat box the bottom of these and you can fit mass amounts of stuff in there. So it's just like that. Works really, really good. And so for something like this, when I was in Washington, I would stick these in here and then I would be able to just push down because of the flat bottom and close this. And so I shipped a lot of stuff doing this because it would save me money. Here, it does not. This is actually one of the most expensive ways for me to ship anything. I didn't make any money on my shipping up in Washington unless I used these. However, down here in Texas, the UPS SurePost seems to be the way to go, or Ground Cubic Advantage. So I think it just really has to do with, you know, where you're at. So Idaho. Okay, let's see. That's interesting. Okay, I can see that because you're going to be kind of over here. So like for me, I'm more like, I'm shipping like this. Yours is going to be more like that. So interesting. Bree, what's up? Debbie Frisbee. Your name makes me very happy. I want to pretend that that's your last name. If it's not your last name, that's okay. We're going to pretend it is because that's rad. I would love to have that as last name. That's super cool. Okay, so we are at 1 pound, 1 ounce for these. And let's take a look and see what we're going to pay for shipping on this. Melissa, what are you doing? What are you doing, Melissa? Good gravy. So we're going to pay $7.75 for these. He paid $8.99, so we made about $1.25, made back my dollar I spent, and then helps with a little bit of the eBay fees over there. We're going to copy that, print that, and here we go. Time is gonna go. Tommy, do you like how no one can say your full name on this because it's a taboo word on TT? Everyone is surprised to call you Tommy Pew Pew because you can't say that. All right, let's go in here. And then here we go back over to eBay. I got this question a while ago, like, doesn't it take you so much extra time since you have to put the tracking numbers and do all that? Do you really make any extra money using Pirate Ship? And the answer is yes. I mean, that took me literally, it takes me maybe, 30 seconds longer than it would to print on eBay. For me, for $1 or $2, that's a good wage. All right, next thing we've got here, kind of late in the season to be selling this, so super excited. This is a Patagonia. This is 100% cashmere sweater. It's a women's small. I picked this up for like $1. I could not believe I was getting this for $1. This was one of those things that you're just like, how much do you want for this? And they're like, oh, just $1. And you're like, that's cashmere. So paid $1 for this, which is amazing. And it is going to our new friend, Janine, in... ME is Maine, correct? That's Maine, right? The M's, I struggle with the M's. I need like a cheat card up or something. I always struggle with the M's. It is a little late in the season to be selling something this warm. However, I understand a lot of y'all still have some cold weather. It's hard for me to remember that because it's like, you know, we're in Texas, and although it is not sunny today, it usually is. So let's see, this is going to be under £1, so we're going to ship this just straight out of eBay. It's going to go right in the bag, and here we go. Renee says, I've branched out from jewelry to other stuff. Do I need a scale? Yes. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Oh my goodness, tell me that is not absolutely so adorable. Yeah, you got to have a scale. So you don't have to buy a super expensive one. I have a Rollo scale. The reason I went with a Rollo scale is because I just like the way the back folds up. It's, you know, it's a more expensive scale, but it's like will last me 800 million thousand years. If you don't want to go for an expensive one, they have some great ones on Amazon. If you go to my linky in my bio YOE, I think I have one that I would recommend. It's actually the one that I use in the other room, in my WN room, my Weddy Naughty room. And I also use it to measure stuff for like food and stuff like that. If I need like a bigger scale for it. It has these sides that pop up. Which is really nice, and it is super reliable. It's just less expensive than the Rollo one. So it just kind of depends on how much you want to pay, what you want to, you know, which one you want to use. Let me take a look. I think it's in there. Let's take a look here. Let's look and see. I'll show you the one that I would recommend. I don't know if this is in my linky, but I'll at least show it to you. It's the Accutech. So this is the one. I'll just hold it up for you guys to screenshot it too, because I'm not sure if this is in my linky. But this is the one that I would recommend. See how it's got like the base and then the little thing, the little number thing is off to the side. The nice thing about that is the reason you want that is because if it's off to the side, when you put stuff in front of it, it won't block you from seeing the weight. The first one I ever bought was just a flat one and the weight was on the thing itself. And when you go to put a package on it, you couldn't see the weight. So this one is great. And this one's only $24. So that's probably the one I would recommend. So if I have it in my linky in my bio, feel free to go through it. If not, just find it over on the Amazon store. Unless you want to spend a little extra and get the Rollo one, which obviously the only reason I'd recommend this one is because it's going to last me 50,000 years. I'm a Rollo girl. So, okay. So we are at 7 ounces for that. And we are at 7 by 7 by 2. So we are paying $4.62 for this. She paid $6.99, so we definitely made our investment back. And this one sold for $51.56 over on the eBay. You're welcome. Yes, ounces really, really, really matter. For sure, especially on all platforms. But if you are going to want to sell on eBay and you're doing the international shipping program and someone were to purchase your item, let's say that they're in the UK or whatever, and they purchase your item and you don't have the correct weight on that, you're going to have to cancel that order or you're going to have to pay a whole bunch of extra. And then on Mercari now, there is an 8% fine that they fine you if your weights are not correct on that. They will charge you 8% of the total sale. So don't want to mess around with that. All right, so this is going post office. Sorry for all the hums, guys. It is what it is. It is today. All right, next thing we've got here is a jacket. I paid $5 for this. So this is a vintage Bobby Labonte racing jacket. It's got like the old 18. Look at this tag, you guys. Look at how old this is. So crazy. So someone had written their initials on this. So I would have probably gotten closer to $40 for this, but this sold for $32.81. Like I said, I paid $5 for this, and there was actually 2 of them. So I was able to just sell. The first one I think I sold for $40, and then this one sold for $32.81. So it took a minute to sell, but you know what? I'll take it for $32. Yeah, absolutely. Which cross-lister do you use? I'm a nifty girl, LG. So I've tried, I think, almost all of them. And I did Vendu for a very, very, very long time. And I really liked them for a very long time. They just, it became a problem. That is so stinking cute. Look at that. It became an issue because a lot of their features stopped working for me. So it was not delisting things off of Poshmark. I could not get my Mercari to connect to it no matter what. I got blown off by customer service over and over and over again. They started wanting to charge people for sending out offers. If you didn't have a yearly subscription, you didn't get things. It just became an issue. And I was already using Nifty, aka Auto Posher. I was already using them for sending out my offers. That's what I started using them for because Vendu wasn't being reliable. And then I was also using them to share my Poshmark closet. And so everyone kept saying, they're so amazing, they're so amazing. And finally I was like, okay, we're just going to try it. And I always say, like, I dated Vendu, but I married Nifty. It's amazing. Guys, I have 0 complaints with them, which is insane. Their customer service is impeccable. Their delisting feature is flawless. Their delist and relist is freaking a lifesaver. I'm pretty sure it's what kept me having orders sell the last 4 days or 5 days because I hadn't listed because I was just so sick. And then they also like they follow people and unfollow if you want and do all of that on Poshmark. The AI thing. Done. That's the deal sealer. So what I'm doing now is what I used to do was I would go into eBay. I would find an item, like let's say I wanted to sell this. I'd find another one of these that had sold, and then I'd go to sell similar. I'd list it on eBay. I'd import it in, and then I'd cross list from there. But I watched Sheffy, he was doing, he did that live on how he was using the AI auto delist or the auto generated AI bulk feature. And I was watching him, and I watched him get like, I don't know, 40 items listed in like, I don't even remember. It was like some ridiculously small amount of time. And so he went through the whole thing showing us how he does it. And so Justin and I sat down, and that's what we started doing. So now what I do is I take all of my pictures. I use the AI generation bulk import into Nifty. You select 5 pictures that you want it to like look at to decide what your item is. It then creates all the listings for you. And then I just go in, I tweak the title a little bit. I put in the price that I want it to be. And then I put my own little like keywords or little things in the description, like, you know, small pinhole or little things I want to put in there. And then I just click list, and it literally is like, and just lists it. And it does it so fast. I mean, I am getting that minus this last few days when I wasn't working, but I am for sure listing twice as much as I was listing before. And my stuff that I am listing is selling really quickly, like way faster than normal. And I don't know if that's because AI is filling in the item descriptions and all the little weird things that I don't usually take the time to fill in, or if it's selling faster because I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, guys. I'm not a software genius. I just play one on TV. So I don't know. But all I know is my stuff is selling faster. I'm getting twice as much stuff listed every day. And it's worth the money. So if you haven't tried it yet, there is a link in my bio. You can try it for a week for free to see if you like it. That's what we did. I went off of another reseller's link. It gave me a week for free. And then it also gives you 15% off the first month. 100% worth it. 100% will continue to use it. Can't even imagine switching. So, did you try Prime Lister? I'm trying to remember all of the ones. I don't want to say yes and then be wrong. I know I did Flip. I know I did Vendu. List Perfectly. Maybe was one of it. And I don't know if I did Prime Lister. I might have because I tried a lot of them at the beginning, and then Vendu came out, and then I was with Vendu for quite a while. So and then I did try Flip in between, FLYP in between, Vendu and, Nifty. I tried Flip for sending out offers because I was having issues with the Vendu working, and I really didn't like that one. Flip and oh my goodness, that thing disconnected every 5 seconds. It was not for me. But it is a good free app. If you're just, like, you're broke, you're just starting this out, you need to try something for free, you know, it's there. So, busy mom, what are you doing? You're welcome, LG. I used Nifty, did not know about the bulk feature. Yeah, Darren, so if you go in, it's the, are you talking about the AI generation one, or are you talking about the delist and relist? Which both of them are awesome. Okay, so let's see. Is this going to be over a pound? Oh, this is just under a pound. We like that, guys. So we are going to do 0 tab 15, and we're going to do 9 by 8 by 3. And let's take a look here. So this is going to Hannah in California. Hannah paid paid $5.99. We're paying $6.40, which unfortunately can be the case with California for me. So I think we're going to eat about 40 cents on this. Should we conduct an experiment? Let's conduct an experiment. So let's take this over and see. Let's go over into, usually if stuff is under £1, it'll be the exact same price for me when it's under, whether it's on eBay or if it's on pirate ship, it's usually the same. But we're going to take a look and we will just see. We'll put in the exact same specs here. And we are at £0.15. So let's take a look here. So eBay, they want to charge me $6.40 for a label. And on pirate ship, $6.39. So we'll save a penny. We'll do it. We'll save a penny. Yeah, California's so funny like that. Like normally things aren't that expensive for me unless they are over £1. So, but that's okay. Hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you eat 30 cents and you move on with your life. Joel says, I use Flip. I feel like I spend so much on eBay and all my cost of goods are the way. Joel, you're the one that actually, I think, pointed me towards Flip. And it just wasn't right for me. I didn't like all the manual things I had to do. And my system would not stay connected. Like, it just would not work for me. But if y'all are newer and you're trying to save money and you just need something that's going to work for you, that might be something to try. And Joel, I don't think you had as many issues with that as I had. So it was not right for me, but that's okay. That's why there's a million different things out there to try. So I'm using Nifty, says LG. I still haven't figured it out yet and was a little discouraged. What's going on, LG? Are you just feeling like you're not sure how to use the features? Or are you feeling like maybe it's not doing what you thought it was going to do? Or you tell me, Missy, how you doing? I am doing much better, Busy. Thank you so much for asking. I'm definitely on the mend. I'm still a little congested. You guys can hear it in my voice. I have a little bit of a scratchy voice going on, but I am definitely better than I was. I'm telling you guys though, I had some really crazy, insane fever dreams. Like crazy, weird, so bizarre, like, you know, when you get sick and you have those fever dreams that make no sense and you get up from it and it's like, you've been taking cold medicine. So it's like, is this the real world? Is this real? Is this what's happening? I lost all sense of like what day it was. I mean, I didn't even know today was Thursday, so who were we kidding? I still didn't know, but yes, the feature, says LG. Casey, what's going on? Did you have the flu? Cold. Yeah, I woke up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on last Friday, and I just woke up and I had completely soaked the bed, like crazy temperature, like 102-degree temperature. Which isn't unusual for me. I have an autoimmune thing, and so because of that, if there's stuff around, if there's colds and stuff around, my lungs are like 3/4 of the size that they're supposed to be. And so cold stuff just gets me, like, I just get it really easily. And so, because of that, it's, you know, when I get it, it like knocks me out. So having a temperature and going, I sound like I'm going through puberty. Having a temperature and going through that is not super uncommon for me, but fortunately, I'm on the mend and I'm feeling like a person again, so that's exciting. I guess I need to YouTube it. Yeah, so LG, I would say there's some good YouTube videos. I know, I want to say that K-Way did a video, maybe like 3 weeks ago, he did a video on using it. We did a live one not too long ago. You know, maybe it would be a good idea, maybe like after I'm kind of getting my voice back, maybe it'd be a good idea to do another one and like maybe show you guys like start to finish, like, hey, I've got these pictures. I mean, you tell me if this would help you. I got these pictures, they're uploaded on my computer. Here's what we do from here. And maybe just like do like a little live that then I can also save as a video and put up. I mean, if that's something you guys think would help you, I'm totally down to do it. It's a learning curve. I mean, it took us a minute to figure it out too, for sure. And LG, I've only been using that AI bulk feature thing for like, I guess maybe like 2.5, maybe 3 weeks now. So we're still kind of, learning while we're earning too, for sure. Yeah, you and I both have a health issue. Yeah, I know. It happens, man. Unfortunately, it's been like that my whole life. So I have a really seriously insane vitamin schedule that I use, and it does help keep me going for the most part, but every once in a while those things get you, especially like I always think like when I'm going to garage sales and stuff and I'm like sharing money and talking to people, I mean it's just kind of like gonna happen. So Stella says yes please, great, I will check those out. Yeah, LG, if you look at K-Way's YouTube, I want to say that he did like a full, like this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm using it. I want to say it was like 3 weeks ago, but if you look on his YouTube, I bet it'll be there. Okay, next thing we've got, this is something I knew would sell pretty quickly. This I picked up at the thrift store a couple weeks ago, and I knew it would sell so fast. So this is a super insanely cool, I don't know if anybody remembers me showing this off. This is a vintage dress. It's by a company called Dress by Wendy. It's a very, very, very old tag, definitely authentic 60s, with the coolest looking buttons. They have like openings at the top. It's got like these really neat little cute little faux pockets here on the sides. It's like that canvas kind of material. So this was at the thrift store. I go every 3 weeks. I go to this thrift store because they have a Dollar's Day sale, and so I went there was it? Yeah, maybe like a week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, something, I've lost track of time. And it was $1. So I was just like, well, we're gonna pick that up. Like, that's insane. I can't believe no one got it. And it sold for $68 over on YouTube. Thank you for all you do. Of course, LG. You know I'm always here. I'm always here, G. Okay. Copy address. So this is going to Lily in California. We're going to go over to Pirate Ship. I ship all of my Depop stuff outside of Pirate Ship, or outside of Depop. I use Pirate Ship. I know not everybody has that, but that is something I am able to do. We're going to put this in here, and we're going to do a cute little, oh, this is like the perfect little sticker for that one. Life is good. Life is good with a little flower. Maya99, what is going on? Thanks you guys again for putting the time over on YT. I really do crazy appreciate you. Like, we are entrepreneurs, for sure. Trying to never have to work a 9 to 5 again for the rest of our lives. Okay, so this is going to be 14 ounces, and we are at 8 by 6 and 0 and 14. Let's take a look and see what we got. California, so we'll see what happens. I think I charged a good amount for the shipping of this, though. Tenacious T, what are you doing, honey bear? What are you doing? Bailey with the number 2. Bailey never fails, I'm telling you. Bailey knows what's up. Okay, so we're only paying $6.39 for this one. So we are definitely, because I probably charged $8.99 for the shipping on this, would be my guess. And let's get this printed out. This girl's going to be stoked on this dress. This is one of those things that like looks good online, but then you get it and hold it up and you're like, whoa, that is insane fire. Like, such a crazy, crazy, crazy find. So there is that. And then we're going to take and put this over back into the old poppy that's D. We're going to mark as shipped. Yeah, so she paid $8.99 for shipping. So we made a couple dollars on that. And then, of course, over on Depop, the nice thing is there isn't a whole bunch of fees over there. So we made like 68. Yeah, we made like 68 total, even after the $1 that I paid for it. So not bad. I do like those. I do like those for sure. Okay, mark as shipped. And we will put in UPS. We'll put in our thing, and boom. Okay, and then let's take a look and see. So I did have that blanket on Poshmark, but like I said, I had to cancel that order because it was over 5 pounds, and your girl was not about to pay an extra $10 for the shipping. So what we got here on Poshmark is this is a company called Vicari. They make like animal skin clothing and stuff. So this is a pair of dark wash alligator jeans. So they have like the alligator thing. I paid $4, I think, for these. And it's funny too, because this is why it's like, it's so important to not judge a book by its cover. And I'm just as guilty of doing this as anybody. But I was garage selling one day, and I go to this garage sale, and it's like in this kind of like rundown kind of like, it was like a rundown park with like a lot of mobile homes, but it was like really, it had seen some better days. And so a lot of times I won't stop at those, only because that one's cute, because it's usually just a lot of like stuff that's like maybe not name brand or things I'm going to be looking for. And so, but I was like, you know what, Charity, don't be judgy, just stop. And there was like this really sweet little old lady out there. So I was like, well, at least I'll say hi to this lady. And like, there wasn't anybody else coming to her sale. It was in the middle of nowhere. And I walk in, she's got brand new Ariat shirts with tags. She's got tons of Western wear with like pearl snaps. She's got all this Mercari stuff. She had some really cool belts and belt buckles, but she was asking a little bit too much for those. But I scored so much stuff. I think I gave her a total of $20. And I mean, I probably made $200 off of the stuff just from that one sale already. So never judge a book by the cover. And like I said, I am definitely guilty of that, just as the same as the next person. So you know, sometimes you feel like you shouldn't stop, and the only time I say definitely don't stop is if you, oh, these were on Posh. I could have just used I used their stuff, but that's okay. We just used our own bag. The only time I say don't stop is if you get a weird feeling. There's been a few sales where it's like, I go to pull up to it, and I just have that, like, you know, that little voice inside of you that's like, me, you don't need to be here. This place is not for you. There's weird dark energy around you. There's something happening. I don't like it here. Every once in a while you get those. And when that happens, you listen to that. Girlfriend, listen to me right now. You, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. When you get that feeling, listen to that gut. Don't fight it. Don't be like, oh, but there might be some treasure. It's like, hey, if you get that really bad vibes, walk away. Just walk away. All right. You're never going to know if something was or wasn't going to happen, but you know what? The more important part, this is going to California too, so crazy. The more important part is you're still alive to watch this TikTok and hang out with us. So just walk on by. So important to listen to that. Suzery, listen to Suzery. She's telling you right now, guys. It's important. Okay, I think that's all of our stuff today. Yeah, so that's everything that sold yesterday. And then we had that one dress sale this morning. So I might be back on tomorrow doing shipping. It depends on how much stuff sells today. If it's only 1 or 2 items, I maybe just pop them in the mail on Saturday. But I will be back on, I think, tomorrow, probably to do at least some photographing of some stuff. I have a huge goal, you guys, this year, and it is to manage to get 50 items listed a day, which I know sounds crazy probably. Some of you may already be doing 50 and you're like, oh, no problem. But I mean, just 6 months ago, I was lucky to get 5 to 7 items up a day. So the fact that I've gotten that much faster, and then of course just using the nifty AI features, obviously that's a huge help. But I've been getting up to like around 25 to 28. So I'm not there yet, but I feel like I'm at least I'm on the way. So if we get to December and I'm getting 50 items up a day, I'm going to be so stinking happy. I've already messaged Nifty and was like, I just want to thank you guys so much. Like, this AI feature is amazing. Like, it really has changed my business. So, all right, that's going to be it for me today, you guys. Thanks so much for popping in. Thanks. By the way, side note, as a human moment, thanks so much for all of the crazy, awesome, insanely nice messages that you guys have sent over to me when I was sick. Like, I hadn't been on my phone for a couple days, and I opened it up, and it was just so many people that were just like, I'm just checking on you, just making sure you're okay, you know, what do you need, can I get anything, like, and I just, like, this community is amazing. So, I really appreciate it, you guys, and I will hopefully see you all back on here tomorrow. All right, bye, everybody.